Greenwood. We are back and better than ever. I'm your sports host and sports editor-in-chief, Johnathan L. and we're here to talk to you a little bit about, well, hold on one second. I think we're forgetting about somebody. Oh yeah, that's right. We had a guy here that used to be sitting on to my right. His name was Mark Davis. And Greenwood, I'm happy to report that we have found Mark Davis. He's on the cold streets of Greenwood, sleeping in a cardboard box behind the Dixie Drive-In, but we finally found him. He's back. He's better. We've got him back up to health. If we can, go over in this corner, I believe. Well, wait a minute. I think that's. You serious? Mark.
Yeah.
Mark, you all right?
I think I'm good. Yeah.
I know we found you, behind the Dixie Drive-In. You were sleeping in a cardboard box.
I was just giving me something to eat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't really blame you, man. Those Dixie cheeses are pretty banging.
Good, yeah.
But, man, we got a show to do right now.
We do.
Wednesday Mid Week Report.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. He's going to come over here, folks. If we can give him a little bit of a hand clap, Mark Davis. We found him. He's back in the studio. It looks better.
Sure.
Looks a little bit more refreshed.
Thank you.
Yeah. Looking a little bit better here. You know how we do this, folks. Softball news, high school news, baseball, a little softball. We got the playoffs as usual, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about that. We also got the last day of bracketology. We're going to pick the district winners for you. But first, we got to get into a little bit of controversy in softball, high school softball. The Abbeville Panthers, Heather Ritchie, their star pitcher, was suspended for one of those games in the district championship, one of those district championship games. That first game that's going to be played, she was suspended for that. They claimed, the Central coach and the umpire claimed that she didn't make an attempt to make a slide into at home plate in the top of the ninth inning against Central. And what they're saying is that she had malicious intent, that she took out the catcher, and because of that, they have suspended her. And basically, it's a he said, she said thing. We don't have any photos from that game, any videos. So basically, we're going off of what the coach and the umpire are saying, and basically it's their word against hers. Our only game last night that I'm aware of right now from our local area was Saluda losing 4-2, and they lost to Andrew Jackson. That was their rematch. They didn't get it done, so the Tiger season is over. It was kind of a tough game. Kobe Martin did pitch a good game, but it didn't seem like the offense was doing much against that 8th grader. Her last name is Ballard. That was the second time they've been held to 2 runs against Andrew Jackson. So over the course of those 2 games, they only scored a total of 4 runs. That's kind of surprising for the Saluda Tigers, given the amount of offense they have on that team. I was kind of hoping that they pull that rematch game out. Moving on, Mark, we got what you like to talk about a little bit here, baseball. Some of those teams that, while you were out, some of the teams that got knocked out of the playoffs, I don't know if you've been keeping up with it. Your Irma Vikings got knocked out. I know you're wearing the purple today. Greenwood High got knocked out. As you know, Abbeville didn't even make the playoffs.
That's right.
I think we were here for that. Ware Shoals got knocked out against Blacksburg. 9-6 is the last team standing here. But before we move on to the Wildcats, let's talk a little bit about those teams, the kind of seasons they had, some of the players you were looking at. Talk to me a little bit about what you saw from the Emerald Vikings this year.
Emerald Vikings this year, they had 3 seniors in the pre, Moore and Woolston, and I think they all held their own. They were the leaders on the team, but they needed a little more than what they had this year. They had some young guys have to step up, because in that whole pack of players there's no juniors. It goes from the 3 seniors, no juniors, down to sophomores and freshmen who had to play for that team. And Moore did it with the bat all year long. He did it on the mound. Woolston's always a good pitcher, and defensively, I think that Austin Dupree is a great defensive catcher. He need to work a little bit on the arm, but and he also held back and was able to hit the curveball better this year than he has in the past. So with that team, like I said, no seniors for next year. They're still young. They'll have maybe a senior if he comes back and plays. That'll be only one. The rest of them will be juniors and down. So they got a lot of experience, young experience this year, which will help them in the future.
So was Gilbert just a little bit too much of a team for him, too tough?
Gilbert's always strong. When you pull those kids out of that Lexington area, you got so much to pull from. And Coach Burnett down there does a good job. He started Emerald's program off. And I played for him, and he's a great coach. And he went back to the area where he came from, and one thing he did say that Emerald would never be a winning team. But Coach Chad Evans can prove him wrong on that one.
Right.
Because we had Gilbert has been beat by Emerald in the past, but it ends up Emerald always facing Gilbert, and Gilbert usually putting them out.
Well, good luck to the Vikings next year. They got a lot of talent coming back. Like you said, there's 3 seniors, no juniors, and then the rest of them are underclassmen. So they got a strong team coming back for next year in that Skyline region. While we're speaking of that Skyline region, let's talk a little bit more about the Abbeville Panthers. Some of their star players from this past season. What were you looking at when you were looking at the Panthers?
Just looking at the youngest of that group too, and also the injuries that plagued them all year long. They had people injured, they had arm injuries, back injuries, sicknesses, and they just couldn't get it all together this year, I think. But with the senior leadership gone, Mason Taylor was a big senior for them this year, and he'll be going to Newberry, so the young ones have to step up. You got to look for Dusty Scott on the mound, third baseman, Lane Irwin on the mound. Joseph Randall, 3 for 2 for him this year on the mound. And also, shortstop, you got Tyler Boyles, and you also got a big bat in Trey McAllister.
Well, hopefully the Abbeville Panthers, that's going to be a nice little robbery right there because they got some young players coming. Emerald's got young players coming. So, I mean, that's going to be, a good battle there in the Skyline region for years to come. Moving on, we got the Greenwood Eagles. I talked to Coach Richardson yesterday. He said they had just a tough bracket there. They played Rock Hill, and then in that first game, I believe they played who's that team? Bowling Springs, another tough out right there. But he said that they just couldn't get the ball in the bats. They said one of the reasons they pitched Kaneko in that first game is because he was a little bit deceptive. Right. They're hoping that they could kind of fool Bowling Springs, and they actually had them beat. But Bowling Springs came back there in the end and took them out. And then with the Rock Hill, it was just Christian Powell. They just got a hold of one of his fastballs, hit a 3-run homer over the center field fence, and that was pretty much it for the Eagles on the season. But he's liking how they're looking coming back next year. I think they only got about 3 seniors, kind of like Emerald. Yeah. They're going to be young. They're going to be coming back strong in that region. And also, he's looking for them to get home field advantage next year, so they won't have to play so much on the road in the playoffs. Mark, what are you looking at when you're looking at the Eagles?
The Eagles still got 4A, tough competition, like you said, with Rock Hill and Bowling Springs. Hard to play that group. You got to look at Tasuku, Mr. T coming back. He can play infield. He's a good deceptive pitcher, like Richardson said. Davis Barrett, always good. He's good fundamental shortstop, and he's gonna hit the ball in clutch situations. And you got Nathan Bridges, who throws the ball well. And
he's pretty much, I think, Kaneko coming back. He might be their #1 ace right there with Bridges. One of those two. And
also up and coming for them, Alex Rhodes, Joe Johnson can both throw the ball well.
Yeah.
And then a little scrappy player in Hamp Riley. He can play infield, outfield, catcher, whatever you need him to do.
We're definitely going to be looking at those players to see if they can make the watch list next year. Also, one of your Davis Report questions, why is no coverage being given to Ware Shoals? Quickly, we're going to give them a little bit of coverage, make them look a little bit better here. What are you looking at when you're looking at the Hornets next year?
The Hornets still, I think when you talk about Ware Shoals Hornets, you got to talk about what they do to prepare for the season. I know it's a small school, a lot of them play football, some of them play basketball, but when it comes to their baseball season and talking to some of their players, they don't start till the season starts. And baseball's all year round sports. You got to prepare, and you got to prepare all year round in condition and all. So, if I knew what they were doing, I might could tell you more. But they do have a couple of players on there, impact players, and Andrew Smith, and also the Culbertson kid who plays shortstop and pitches for them.
Well, good luck to the Hornets next year, and we're looking to get a little bit more coverage out there and answer one of the Davis Report questions. Coming up, we got the last bracketology show of the summer. You don't want to miss it. We're going to have that coming back to you right after this commercial break.
State-of-the-art technology, incredible staff, huge cost savings, beautiful atmosphere. The Diagnostic and Imaging Center at Tower Point. We have the world's #1 ranked MRI scanner, and we also offer CT scan, X-ray, ultrasound, nuclear medicine, and much more. The Diagnostic and Imaging Center is the most affordable in the area. We offer same-day or next-day appointments and fast and efficient test results. The Diagnostic and Imaging Center at Tower Point in Greenwood.